Seeking to scale your business to new heights? Then you are at the right place. Malay Damania, business transformation coach, is here to share valuable advice, tips, and teachings on effective business management. Learn from the best to run a thriving business in these volatile environments. And for more interactive learning from Malay, sign up for his free webinars happening every Sunday at 11 a.m. IST, where you can dive deeper into business transformation strategies. Registration link given in show notes. And now, buckle up for some quick and actionable insights that will revolutionize your approach to business on Business Veda podcast from your host, Malay Damania.
Hello, good morning, namaste. Welcome you all to this Business Veda podcast. Today we have a very special guest with us, founder of Gratefy, that is Moussami Dhar. Moussami, a very warm welcome to Business Veda podcast. Just for your introduction, Moussami has over 20 years of experience in marketing, sales, and business development positions in various multinational companies like Raymond's, Jensen and Nicholson, Yardley, Birla Sun Life, ING Investment Management. So happy to welcome Moussami. Moussami, would you like to just introduce and share something about you?
Sure. Once again, thank you, Malaji, for the opportunity. And so, I always like to first introduce myself as a mother, right? So I'm a mother of 18-year-old son, Aditya, and a very beloved, pet of ours, Buzo. Of course, a wife, a dog lover, daughter-in-law. So, that's my primary, introduction. And of course, I'm a management graduate. I've had the absolute great opportunity of working in some of the greatest Indian and multinational companies in the world. So I worked, as Malaji mentioned, in Raymond's. I was, handling marketing for Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund. And my last assignment was as a executive vice president and national head for ING Investment Management. Now I started an organization in around 2015 where I used to work with people on streets, several actually below the poverty line kind of people, and started an organization called Go Shop Art. I continue to have that as an organization that I support and work with. In 2021, I launched the platform Gratefy, and it is it's also kind of a child, or my baby for me, something I've dreamt of having from very early stages of my career.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, you said so nice. You are first a mother and then a lot of other things are following that. Nice to know that. Mostly, before we get into knowing more about you and Gratefy, I would like to just tickle your mind first. Let's play a small game before you get on with our conversation. I will say one word and you say whatever comes to your mind. Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. The first word is goal.
Critical. I feel it's the most critical thing, right? So, I think the goal setting is the most difficult and the most critical thing in life. Any part of life, personal, professional, money, anything you want to say, spiritual. Whenever I think of the word goal, I think it's so critical, right?
Absolutely.
And of course, very difficult to set.
Okay, second word is business.
Business is a journey. I don't know how others define it. For me, it has been a journey. So, whenever I think of the word business, I think it's been a journey.
Fantastic. Food.
Oh, I think it is a very unnecessary evil. Okay, khaya to bhi pashtaya, nahi khaya to bhi pashtaya. So I think, baap re. So I really think food is a very, very important thing, but very unnecessary evil for me.
Job.
Job to me is, I always think of it as 100%, whatever job you do 100%. I really love this thing that, Robin Sharma, so many people have said, just by name one, that, like whatever you do, whether you're a janitor or whether you're the CEO of the company, just do 100%.
Great. Entertainment.
Music,
Oh,
To me, entertainment is, music, songs, all of it.
fantastic.
Entertainment is music.
Fantastic. And the last word, money.
Oh, money is magical. It can do anything. In today's world, at least, all our successes, everything is defined by money. Yeah.
Fine. So now that we have played this game, let's know something more about you. You worked in corporates for more than 2 decades. What made you shift from well-paid, settled job to start your own company?
Okay, so Malachi, for me, it was, I think, firstly, I'll say it in actually the sequence that I believe it. First is I really wanted to spend some time with my son. I had a very, very active, career, and I had a lot of travel and I enjoyed it thoroughly, let me tell you. So I won't for a moment regret any bit of it. It did everything to my life that I could ever imagine. So that was my primary motive to start, right? Secondly, this is like a little story. So ING decided to move out of India. And, during that phase, we had brought up ING from being, a small brand to becoming, pretty decent sized in India. And suddenly somebody there in Europe decided that India se nikalna hai. So nikalna hai. So I said कि I should create my own brand. जब निकलना है मैं निकलूंगी. जब रहना है तो मैं रहूंगी. I won't let somebody else do that to me, right? I wanted to create my own brand. That was the second reason. And thirdly, I really wanted to be independent and make a social difference. So, my first organization that I started, besides being a consultant for some large ones, Goshapat was meant to give back to society. It continues to, and so is Gratify. I think everything I've done after that is where I have believed in it and worked. They were not just a means of, earning money. It, of course, is, as I said, money is critical, but it is also something I enjoy. It is also something I deeply believe in.
So nice to know that. So I saw your website, Gratify,
Mm.
which says that nurturing relationships. And it is all about, in this world of technology and AIs and all taking over the world, you are talking about human relationships. So tell us something more about your company, that what do you mean by this nurturing relationship?
So basically, I believe that, if the products or services provided by a company is the same, that is, of course, important. So we cannot say that only relationships can win the game. But if that is the same, then the winning clause is actually relationships. This is what I have learned from in my career throughout my life, that, you should not treat business as a transaction. You should treat it actually as starting a relationship. So once you do that, everything else falls in place. So even if your product has a little error, your service has gone a little haywire sometime, if you have the right relationship with your client or your employees, then the feedback comes quicker, the correction happens easier, and it is not a stress zone. It's not that everything is gone berserk, right? Because then it becomes like a gradual process of learning, evolving, growing, and enjoying, doing the work. Otherwise, I believe it becomes like काम करना है, But we are all human beings, and I think it is absolutely important that we enjoy what we are doing. Enjoy doesn't mean, just amusement or just entertainment, but also something that gives us some provocative thoughts on how we should, do things. It should make us grow, not like just that. So that's how nurturing relationships, I believe, is critical. And we focus on that concept. Of course, we use technology. So technology is an enabler everywhere. Even if you want to consistently nurture relationship, you have to use technology. Okay. But in the right manner, right? Technology will be an enabler in every field, and so is it on Gratify.
Very nice. You said work should not be, just go for work, but enjoy, where you grow, you progress personally also, and you love doing your job. Also, I like that, you talked about it's not a transactional relationship we are building. It's a long-term sustainable relationship that we are building, which will eventually bring a lot of business to us. So when we talk about relationship, So what kind of relationship you talk about? Is it with the customers, or are there other stakeholders as well?
We initially started this whole, platform based on clients. Okay. But slowly, as we started speaking to corporates, we realized that a relationship with clients comes when the relationship of the corporate with their own employees is actually in place, right? So Gratify works on, employee retention, employee engagement, client retention, and client engagement, right? So the important thing is we don't, initially I thought कि client को retain करना है, right? Client के साथ relationship, business is about that because see, I belong to, the business side, right? My whole life has been on, business, marketing, sales, product management side. So not on the HR. But as I started speaking to several large corporates, I realized that where should it start? It should first start for the person who is actually going to interact with the client. He has to believe that, it is important to have relationship. And why will he believe just by words until and unless the organization treats them, as human beings? So that is how we then, started working on it. And so we very actively work on, designing employee loyalty programs. I personally am very, very involved in it. I think loyalty programs have to be designed very well. It is always, just 1 year completion, 5 year completion, 10 year completion or whatever. But we have kind of worked with some and evolved very nice structures of how you can treat loyalty, right? So loyalty programs, I think loyalty and recognition are very important things that we are currently working on in Gratify with our corporate clients.
So you're talking about client relationship as well as employee relationship, primarily retention and relationship, of course. That's great to know. So I understand with employees, you're talking about loyalty programs as well as the recognition part of it, and how can we inspire them to go out and work for the company. How do you ensure client relations? So what are you doing in Gratify so that it helps us to retain clients?
Okay, so I'll just basically take one example. Let us say that it is a private banking client, right? So basically, see, most of these are high ticket or high value clients because these are not consumer driven, products because there it is a different type of relationship building, right? Because that's more mass media. But in this case, when you're talking of relationships, we're talking of high value. So business to business relationships or business to HNI relationships instead. So if we look at a private banking, client, so what we really do is we actually help create a complete calendar of events that, starting from the head of the business to the regional head to the relationship manager, which day of the year, which, time, on which occasion, when will they be calling, tracking the calls, what will be the, what they will be talking about, what kind of events are there in that family's life, right? So, for example, there is a marriage anniversary or there is a certain birthday of the child, they belong to a certain community, certain things which are very important to them. So we go into research of what that family actually enjoys doing by setting certain questionnaires that are given to the RMs. So whenever they are meeting these clients, they try and get answers, they feed it in the system of Gratify. And so we do an analysis, an intelligence analysis of how these clients, what are the touch points? What are the nerve points? What do they really enjoy? So this takes approximately 3 to 6 months. So nothing starts automatically. So we first set up these questions, then the RMs are taught how they would ask, and we get it back, put it into the database, and then come out and suggest a plan for a certain family office. So like this, we work with several under a private bank. So this is, of course, a very intensive exercise, and it is also a very, very high value exercise. So I really want to say that this is not something that you can do. Like, I want to create a relationship, so I start creating. So you have to believe in it. It's a 1 year to 3 year time frame by when you can see tangible, changes in number and relationship that you have of these family office clients with your business. And now that we are in the third year almost of, second year really of Gratify, and some of the clients we've started with, so we do an analysis. So we don't only suggest something, we also analyze it by numbers. So see, a family office is generally associated with a lot of other banks, so they will have 3 or 4 of large, wealth managers that they are associated with. They have their own in-house people doing all of it. So we see whether there has been an increase in the proportion of allocation, okay, to our business. Our business means, to our client's business. That is the criteria that we use. So it's not vague. It is all very much, like documented and quantitative. It is not just qualitative that, they are now happy with us. No, we don't do that. But I feel that it will require the business to actually believe that they want to invest in that relationship and grow the relationship for the platform of Gratify to make any impact in the business.
Have you got your copy of Business Champ yet? If not, go ahead and grab this Amazon bestseller by Malay Damania. It is a complete roadmap to transform your business. Thousands of business owners have already benefited from the book. Get your copy now from the link in show notes.
Great. Yeah, thanks for explaining that. So let's say now we want to develop and nurture this relationship with one of the clients, and we have those questions. We understand what are their touch points. So let's say we have 4 days in a year that these are the days which are very important for them: birthday, anniversary, some festival, something. So what is the next step? What we do next?
Okay, so so we use WhatsApp, mailing, gifting, experiences, and events. So we do all the 5 parameters, right? So, and all of this happens on Gratify in a simultaneous manner. So, for example, let us take one occasion, say birthdays. So what will happen is, morning 8:30, there will be a message from X person to the concerned person. Then, there will be an email which will go on behalf of the complete team to that person. Then third, there will be a gift, and it is not just going to be something. So we really try and understand what colors they enjoy, what do they like, and make it a customized product that reaches the guy. So see, we are touch and feel people. So just words and just that doesn't work, right? We want to get, it's always a good feeling, no, to get something.
Something tangible.
So that is the third element. And then in certain cases, we have also got their offices, kind of done up and, done a celebration there. So, so events and experiences also form a very critical part. So all of these put together, done on the same day in a very systematic manner and making it seem natural, not just, like put up show, is critical in making, this thing to actually take off.
Wow. Somebody does this for me on my birthday. Yeah, I'm going to be absolutely delighted.
And so are some of the clients that actually, we get a feedback from our clients, right? How did they feel? What did, happen, right? So,
I have seen, those WhatsApp messages on birthdays or in email. To that extent, yes, I think a lot of people may be doing it. But I haven't seen what you talk further about, having gift, some tangible thing, or an event organized, etc., which is like a very, very delightful experience, because that's something which I haven't seen it. So that's great to know that you are going beyond regular norms and doing something very special to develop those relationships.
Yeah, Malaji, I wanted to also, add that, we ensure that all these actually go with handwritten cards. That is one of the most critical things that we follow, right? So, people have kind of forgotten, right, to do that. So we ensure that, the message is not just a static message. It is not just printed. It is actually handwritten. So adding these small little touches, right, makes it I think it's very important, especially if you really want to, kind of grow it. Of course, I must also mention to you that there are some clients, who feel, yaar, kya hangama hai ye sab? I'm okay. Don't have to do all of this. But I'm telling you, even those people, somewhere in their heart, they do feel. So I have heard many of the, regional heads, the national heads of these businesses come back and say, डोंट वरी मैम, वो ऐसे बोलते हैं पर एक्चुअली उनको बड़ा अच्छा लगता है।
I,
मेन फाइंड इट वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू इमोट, राइट?
I
सो
agree.
दे
I
से यार
agree with
क्यों कर
you
रहे हो
that
ये सब, बट अच्छा तो सभी को लगता है, टू
I
मेक,
agree with you. Everybody has that kid inside them.
यस यस,
जो
सो दे
वो छुपा
एंजॉय
के
इट
रखते हैं,
एक्चुअली।
लेकिन वो बच्चा एक रहता तो है ही हर
यस,
एक के दिल में. No, I love this idea of handwritten card. We have sort of forgotten this kind of handwritten cards in
या,
this technological world. So that's something which becomes very very personalized. I think
इट
that is a
डज,
deal.
इट डज।
Wow. I think great. I think thank you for sharing all these wonderful ideas. So this has a lot to do with how do we communicate. Think I'm just trying to understand this. So what is, according to you, the role of communication in all of this? I mean, today, of course, communication is not just talking, but when you send a WhatsApp message or an email, everything, there are various modes of communication.
The most important thing about communication to my mind is, to be consistent. Okay. So generally we tend to, kind of do it once and forget about it, right? So I really think that it is very important for communication to be very consistent. Okay. Also consistent in your actions and your words. So, communicate what you believe in. Don't just communicate, right? So I think, that is very important. Another thing I feel about communication is don't make it very verbose. Try and spend a little time on making it effective and making it short. So I think communication, Malaji, is a topic close to my heart and also something I believe that people find it very difficult to do. Whether in personal relationship or business, colleagues, friends, communication is so critical and yet it is something which is very difficult to get it right. But I think if we remember three things that, say it from your heart, your words and your actions should, kind of correlate to each other. And the second thing is that if you're consistent about it, I think any means you use, whether even if you're using just WhatsApp, but if you consistently do it, you'll always win. I'll give you one example. Some of the large insurance companies actually, they get their agents to send messages on festivals to their clients. Okay. Now, सभी भेजते हैं. ओके, तो फिर क्या फायदा? बट आपको पता है अगर फेस्टिवल में आपको कोई विश करेगा ना, तो जनरली आप, वो मतलब आपका एजेंट है, आपको तंग करता है, बार बार फोन करता है, बट आप ना वापस एक जवाब दोगे, हैप्पी दिवाली हो या मुबारक तुझे, मतलब कुछ ना कुछ आप जरूर जवाब देंगे. So see, whether it is, so I think communication is so important. मतलब overdose नहीं होना चाहिए, but done rightly, communication is the key to success.
Truly, I absolutely agree with you. Communication is so important, and you rightly said that say it from your heart, say what you believe, be consistent, and also be to the point. Crisp, rather than beating around the bush. Be crisp and be meaningful of what you are saying. That's a art, and yeah, it's difficult to get it right many times, but that's something which we all got to cultivate, because how you communicate defines your personality. So very very important quality. I agree with you. All right, I think this is a fantastic communication we are having with Moussami. Before we ask her to give some final words to all the business owners, again may I just tickle her mind with a few questions. Are you ready, Moussami, to answer a few questions? Which is just a very casual question.
Sure.
Just to know more about you. Who is your favorite business leader?
I'm a great fan of Ratan Tata
Mm-hmm.
and the Tata Group.
Wonderful. Ratan Tata, I think like many Indians.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. If you are made a CEO of India's largest company, it could be Tata, what is the one thing you would do for your people?
I think I would listen to them. I think that I believe some of my most wonderful memories of working with my bosses, but one was when they listened to me. Even if they didn't do what I said, doesn't matter, but they listened to me and it made me feel very good. So I believe that I would listen to them. And secondly, I think I would like to celebrate them, for the small wins that they have in their life, right?
Wow.
बड़े विन्स बहुत स्पेस में आते हैं ना, पर छोटे छोटे तो हर दिन आते हैं. So it would be nice. I would love to do that. Yeah.
We can see that you will be people's boss. And listening, again, we come back to communication. In many times, communication, we talk about how do we talk, how do we, communicate with people. But I think listening is a big part of communication. I know you're not a foodie kind of Indian foodie kind of person, but I have one more question for you. What is your favorite food dish?
Oh, I mean, I love food. ऐसा मत बोलिए, but I was thinking it ज़्यादा खा के मोटे ही होते हैं, इसलिए. No, so my favorite food is chaat. मतलब एकदम street side. फिर Bengali puchka. So
Wow.
not pani puri, but the puchka. So yes, my favorite. कभी भी बताइए. So
Wow.
that's my favorite.
In Mumbai we call pani puri.
पर वो आपको कलकत्ता में ही जाके खाना पड़ेगा to enjoy the puchka.
Okay. Mostly you are a women entrepreneur, and we call womenpreneur nowadays. That's the term. One advice you want to give to these women entrepreneurs?
मैं ना एक्चुअली आई वाज थिंकिंग कि मतलब वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योर होने में खास बात क्या है. ओके, सो आई सेड सबसे मतलब मैं ना आई विल टेक द लिबर्टी मतलब जी टू से 3 थिंग्स. मतलब आपका टाइम नहीं लगेगा बट क्विकली.
Sure.
सबसे पहले ना कीप द फोकस. Because as women now, we are torn between so many things, right? So we many times lose the focus. So I think keeping the focus to my mind is like very important. Number 2 is don't feel guilty. I felt enough guilt in my life, right? कि अरे यार ये था, ये करना था, इसके लिए था, वो था. So don't feel guilty. This is part of life. So हम as women, we will try to do everything, so don't feel guilty. I tell myself every day, so I'm telling you, like telling the women entrepreneurs, don't feel guilty. And the number 3, stay a woman. Don't try to become a man. I feel we have so many qualities as being a woman, right? I am emotional. I get attached to people. कोई एम्प्लॉय छोड़ता है तो मुझे तो लगता है कि अरे यार मैंने क्या कर दिया कि वो क्यों छोड़ रहा है भाई. Like that. So I think these are our strong points. Being kind, being human, being emotional. These are our USPs. Why do I want to be a man? I'm so happy being a woman. So I don't know if I'm saying the right or wrong thing,
I
but
think
I just felt
it's a great thing you are saying, and I'm sure all the women listening to you will definitely agree with you, and they will have this in their mind now that they got to focus, stop feeling guilty, and stay women. I think these 3 are fantastic advice for them. I'm sure many women, they are on that borderline of wanting to get into business, wanting to start something as their side income, side hustle. Probably they are torn between, as you rightly said, household duties and should they do, should they not do, how much time they should allocate, and all of that. But yeah, for them, this is a great advice for them to maybe allocate their time and stay focused and stop feeling guilty. Well, my last dialogue is, what is your favorite movie dialogue?
I was thinking कि मतलब मूवीज तो आजकल थिएटर पे जाना होता नहीं है, तो जितनी भी मूवीज होती होंगी पुरानी पुरानी मूवीज की याद आएंगी. दिस डायलॉग फ्रॉम ओम शांति ओम इज वेरी क्लोज टू माय हार्ट. कहते हैं अगर किसी चीज को दिल से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात उससे मिलाने की कोशिश में लग जाती है.
क्या बात है,
तो एज अ पर्सन मुझे तो बहुत सारी चीजों से ना बहुत प्यार है. मतलब आई फील कि और पूरी कायनात ना सच्ची पीछे पड़ती है कि मैं वो हासिल कर रही हूँ. So I always believe I'm very grateful for everything that life, the divine, everything that has come my way. So very grateful for.
Wow, so wonderful, and you are speaking from heart. So that is so visible that दिल से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात भी अपने साथ लग जाती है. Very nice, very famous dialogue. Okay, I think I really have this great opportunity of having this conversation with you. Let me have your last word for what would you want to say to the small, medium entrepreneurs, business leaders, some insight, something from your experience. What are your last words for them?
I think we should always believe that, we look up to large corporates, multinationals, whatever. But I think SMEs is a lifeline to society. We should be very proud that, we sustain and employ many. We assist in managing several households in our country. So I think SMEs and business, owners should take great pride in it and believe that they are instruments of social change. That's all that I would like to say. And if you feel proud about what you're doing, you're not doing it just as a dhanda, then just एक काम कर रहे हो पैसा ऐसा नहीं. अगर आप pride feel करेंगे ना, तो it will grow to another level. If there is one dream I have ना Malay ji, I must tell you this, that इस जिंदगी के आगे ना जो हमने किया है वो रहनी चाहिए. उसका इम्पैक्ट, उसका कुछ भी, थोड़ा भी इम्पैक्ट, चाहे कुछ लोगों पर ही हो, वो ब्रांड हो या नहीं हो पता नहीं, बट कुछ लोगों पर भी हो, पर वो इम्पैक्ट तो रहना चाहिए. So, I guess as business owners, as SME owners, let's try and make an impact. We can make an impact in this world, and we are doing it.
Wow, that is so inspirational for all the SME business owners. Leave a legacy for what you are doing. Do it with your heart and be proud about what you are doing. You are absolutely right. SME is a lifeline of any country, especially India. They employ more than 11 crore people in our country. They are the lifeline, absolutely, for us. All right. So, Moussami, thank you so much. It was such a wonderful having you in this Business Veda podcast. And I'm so happy to announce that, this is the Golden Jubilee episode of Business Veda podcast. And we have our first women entrepreneur as a guest in this podcast. So, thank you so much for having your time, spending your time and being here with our show and giving your insights, sharing your experience and knowledge with us.
Congratulations on achieving the magical 50 number. And thank you for the opportunity. So before I actually sign off, I wanted to just say that because, I believe in this whole concept of relationships, that love to say that मुलाकातें जरूरी है अगर रिश्ते बना के रखना है. लगाकर भूल जाने से तो पौधे भी मुरझा जाते हैं. So I hope whoever is listening, to this podcast believes that nurturing relationships is the key to personal and business growth.
क्या बात है. बहुत ही बढ़िया share. And we can see that Moussami is living the tagline that she has for her company Gratefy. Nurturing relationships. We keep saying that ये आप B2B business में है या आप B2C business में है, but eventually we are all in the P2P business. That is people to people. End of the day, B2B है या B2C है. Eventually, it is a connect between two people who is doing business, who is bringing business on table. So nurturing relationship is key to our own business growth and in our life. So thank you so much, Moussami, again for being here in the show. And friends, this was our 50th podcast with Moussami Dhar, founder of Gratefy. We will have all her credentials in the show note. Thank you so much for being with us. We look forward to again another conversation, another day in the next episodes. Thank you again.
A top-rated podcast, Business Veda, is must listen for every business owner. So share this with someone who will find this podcast useful. Remember to follow the podcast and tune in next week for yet another business lesson from Malay Damania.